Welcome to Fashionology Today, your weekly fashion talk show, where we're going to meet designers and hear from models, manufacturers, and other fashion creatives who are going to share their products and tell their story during our live weekly 30-minute TV show, only on the Fashion Network, FNTV. Today's guest, Pattern Babe, designer Stephanie Roth. Today is October 10th, 2023, and you're watching Fashionology Today. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Fashionology Today, your weekly fashion talk show on the Fashion Network. As you can see behind me, I am actually Jewish, and I do stand with Israel. I'm devastated, makes me very overwhelmed to know of my friends and family that have been devastated by the recent events in the Middle East. So we just want to take a moment to say the Fashion Network stands with Israel. And if we can help in any way, simply let us know by sending an email to support@thefashionnetwork.com. Today, we're very excited to switch gears and have our guest, who is a pattern and print dynamic designer. So without further ado, let us bring in Stephanie Roth. Hello, Stephanie. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you for that lovely introduction.
You're absolutely welcome. It is well-deserved.
Oh, thank you.
I was talking to you off screen a little bit, and it was super interesting, reading all of your information that you've discovered this specific genre of the industry, which is print and custom prints and patterns and creating endless items only a few years ago.
Mhm.
And you've done so well. We've got a couple prints up here behind me, and we're going to show more. And we also want all of our viewers to know that later in the show, you'll get a 20% off discount code exclusive to the Fashion Network to shop at patternbabe.com. Will you take our viewers back to kind of the beginning, how you were influenced by your father and grandfather, and you have all these artistic people in your family? But what led you to this specific section of the industry?
Oh, thank you. That is a really good question. I started out painting many years ago, sort of by accident. I saw a picture of my daughter, my oldest daughter now, and I never picked up a paintbrush before. And I just had a desire to paint her from a photograph that I just loved of her. And
Wow.
that's sort of how I started doing artwork. So it wasn't until I was an adult, young 20s, painting. And then my art got into a pretty big show in our local area called the Wilmington Fringe Festival, and I had art friends that were previously rejected that went to art school for it, and my work was accepted, and I was very shocked that it was accepted.
What an
Brand
accomplishment.
new.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, jumping in real quick, you've already done more than 300 custom prints. Clearly, the art festival saw something special in you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought we had to pay a $50 deposit for the application, and I actually thought when I dropped off the mail that I was throwing that $50 away. But
Exactly.
I like to take chances, so I figured, I don't know if I don't try, so it's one of those things, and I was just very shocked. It was probably one of the best things I ever decided to do, and
Absolutely. What a great $50 investment.
Yes, yeah, it was wonderful, and, I think at that show, I was interviewed at the show, and I just recently looked back at that interview about what I had said about art, and I still feel, many of the same things today. And then, I come from a family of creatives. My, grandfather is a very talented artist. He never exhibited or showed his work or sold it, but his work is amazing, so I was surrounded by that growing up. My dad is a wonderful artist. He same thing, never exhibited or shown his art, but he draws pictures and birthday cards, and, they're just beautiful, and it's
And
amazing.
no, absolutely. I mean, what you're talking about, growing up in a family of artists, essentially, and different types of artists. I don't think I've ever interviewed anyone within the industry that is on the creative side that doesn't grow up seeing it somewhere and seeing it a lot, right? The creative part. I grew up with both my mom and my grandma being very creative and sewing and sewing and sewing. And so I think it's part of what instills just the knowledge and know-how that we want to continue that for ourselves. And yet you're doing it. Are you doing it? You're still not doing it totally full time. Is that right?
No, I have a 100% full-time job, so and I have a young family with children, and it's just, the balance of everything is very difficult.
It is. And really the reason I brought that up though is because you mentioned to us and to one of our producers, Dallas, that it's part of your well-being. You don't feel right if you're not creating something. No, really, I think that's a sentiment and a true sentiment to many of us. When I'm running the network, the TV network, I still need to be designing. It's something that I think is in all of us that, and I think it's important to mention to our viewers that, becoming a creative in one way or the other is absolutely incredible for your mental health.
Oh, yes, definitely. I don't know what I would do without it. If I didn't create, I wouldn't have survived, several periods in my life. And when I
Exactly.
discovered it, it was after a divorce, and I've gone through a couple miscarriages, things. So I just don't know what I would do without it, and it's just part of my life. And when I don't do it, I suddenly feel like a drop in my well-being. Like I just don't feel right. Like I said to Dallas, and
Absolutely. That's
I
absolutely true. And I think it's true for so many people. And I think especially like you said, in your life, having personal obstacles and traumas that you need to overcome. And there's the world that we live in right now. Just frankly pretty shitty. I think it's a great outlet for anyone. But I want to talk very specifically about what you do within the industry, which is patterning, right? It's prints, it's creating custom prints. I know we threw up here on the screen one of your holiday items that we found online that you're selling. But take us through some of these prints that you create. This is a great a butterfly mirrored image. Where do you get your inspiration?
A lot of it is from photographs that I've taken. So this one was a trip to Longwood Gardens. That's not far from where I live, and I love Longwood Gardens. So I'm always inspired when I go there. And the alpaca winter collection was inspired by an alpaca farm in our area. It's right in our backyard, pretty much.
Amazing.
And I took a picture of one of the alpacas, and I was like, I have to turn this into a design. So a lot of it is from nature or real life experiences or just things that colors and things that inspire me.
Absolutely. We put them up here on the screen so it's a little closer for everyone to see. Here's two amazing prints that you make. Here's part of your alpaca collection. What I love is that you're selling these items, obviously, and you mentioned being able to license the prints or create different items for people. And that brings in the sustainability aspect of being a print and pattern designer, which I personally live by. And what I mean by that is every one of my collections has solid colors, right? We use solid fabric. But even the solid fabric and all of my prints for every collection is done in-house. I create the prints. We print the fabric on demand, which eliminates waste. And that's pretty much what you're doing as well. I think it's incredible that you're living this sustainable life with the fashion industry only 2.5 years into it.
Yeah, it's something I didn't think about right away, but I attended Tech's World in New York City, and I attended an event on circularity, and that was the first time I heard the term actually being new to the industry, and I thought, "I'm already doing that with, print on demand," and, I've always been a thrift shopper too.
That's amazing. Yeah, exactly. And look at what you're doing with these leggings. I mean, it's incredible. We noted that they start around $35 and go up to about 67 for anyone watching. Again, keep watching. We're going to give you a code that you're going to be able to buy from her website, patternbabe.com, and be able to do so at a discount. We are going to have to take a commercial break real quick. You're watching the Fashion Network and Fashionology today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Rise, entrepreneur. Take that first step towards freedom. So long to the old routine. Welcome to your new venture. There's an industry that needs disrupting. Ideas you should be challenging. It takes courage to do what you love. We'll help you begin your journey. As a business like you, dedicated to you, we can take on tomorrow together with a business account you could open today. Entrepreneurs across the UK. Start your business with Tide.
And welcome back to Fashionology today. It's October 10th. We are talking to Pattern Babe designer Stephanie Roth. Stephanie, will you tell our viewers what you mean about circularity? You wrote a blog post about it. Let our viewers in on what circularity is.
So I think overall, I think it's trying to minimize waste in design and with your fashion and you operate your company to try to have practices like using recycled materials, having a system where customers can recycle things that they return. I know Spoonflower does that with their fabric. A lot of my fabric is printed with Spoonflower,
Excellent.
and they have it built into their business model, and they actually have their employees shopping for fabrics that are returned, which I think is a neat idea.
It is. And I think the concept to simplify it is, you have an item and keep it circular so that you're using it, reusing it, maybe cutting it to fit something else. One thing we do at Home Limited, HOAM, which is House of Anne Marie, and they own the network, is taking items, the fabric that is left over, and not wasting it. So creating bags, simple tote bags that you can ship our products inside the tote bag.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do the circularity and sustainable lifestyle. I do want to put this back up here, talking about your leggings and different items you guys make. Of course, your alpaca collection. What is one of your favorite items that you're creating today?
I just participated in a Make It in design challenge, and I really like some of the new artwork that came out of that challenge. And I haven't posted it on my website yet, or have it on any POD sites yet.
Okay.
But I really like the direction that I took with those new designs. One of them is a paisley. I've never done a paisley before. It's really a large print paisley, but I kind of liked how it fit on the dress, and I actually purchased the dress in a different color.
That's great.
That I do have on my website. It's the main picture that's on my website.
Yeah.
And I wore that dress out and got compliments. And I do own some of the leggings, and when I wear those out, I always get compliments. So I think the fun part for me is that it's art that's wearable.
Yeah, wearable art.
I'm wearing it too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And on your chair behind you, wearable art. I love that. I also want to know a little bit more about sun-kissed artwork.
Yes, those are the cyanotypes. I was fortunate enough to take a course at Winterthur with a really well-known artist that creates these cyanotypes, and I learned how to do it from that course. So I walked out of that course with a few of them, and then I've been making them ever since. And it basically uses the sun with nature into artwork, and it's like a nice blue color that happens through the sun photo process.
Like really bringing something to life.
Yes, and I wanted to incorporate some of those into my pattern design. So I have one that I turned into a pattern design, but I'm still very early in trying to figure out the best way to get those into a pattern.
I mean, it's great what you're doing. I think it's just fantastic. And we're going to talk more about everything you're doing. But we have to do our Trending Tuesday segment. It's a great segment. People seem to love it. So here we go. All right. Trending Tuesday. This is the Fall's 5 must-have items. Okay. You're falling into the season with our guide here. So let's go through these. A top handle bag. First of all, I love my top handle bags. I use them, well, every day, basically. I do prefer a top handle bag with a crossbody available with it. Wanted to let our viewers know, these are bags from many different places, online outlets. Of course, we threw up a Chanel bag that's pretty out of reach for most, but it's beautiful. And of course, Saks Fifth Off. There's many different places that are selling incredible bags. How about mesh flats? Moving into the fall with these. I wore these a lot this past summer, but now you can add socks to them. Do you have a mesh pair of ballet flats?
Oh, not yet. I need to compare though.
They're all over, from Amazon, to Miu Miu, Prada, but all sorts of prices, $20 to, of course, several hundreds. I think it's really important to also let everyone know that we're not promoting simply designer products. We're promoting all products. Kitten heels. I love kitten heels. Frankly, I don't think they've ever gone out of style. I think they're endless. We loved the two here, the middle one and the blue, because it does have a back. You can wear those all the time. And what's great about having a back, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, Stephanie, but with a back, then you can wear pants and slacks and they don't get caught, which I think is awesome. Okay, we're almost done. Our fourth item is biker boots. Again, I've worn them for 30 years, so I love my biker boot. Whether you're buying it at H&M for $20 or getting a designer pair from Christian Louboutin, or fry boots in between, they're awesome. And finally, hobo bags. Hobo bags are, again, a staple. So I think what the biggest takeaway from our Trending Tuesday segment that are our top 5 fall trends is simply that these trends are actually staples. And I think that's where the industry is going, and kind of brings us back to a sustainable lifestyle, that you don't have to go buy a trendy item. You probably have it. And I think it's a great way to live. We're going to take one more commercial break, and we'll be right back with more from Stephanie Roth.
There's a couple things I'd like to say to you. After all the crazy things that we've been through, I needed you in the dead of night, the wake of the day, first broken light, and blind I'd follow you. I never realized how much I needed you.
Comfort. What we deliver by delivering.
All right, welcome back. You're watching Fashionology today. We've got Stephanie Roth with Pattern Babe with us. It's been a great show so far. One thing I want to put up here is your Kin Custom for surface pattern designers. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Can you tell us and our viewers a little bit about what that is?
Well, I discovered this print-on-demand company called Kin Custom, and I realized that no one else was really talking about it. I took a few courses by other artists, and they had all of these print-on-demand sites listed, and I didn't see Kin Custom. And then someone messaged me on Instagram about where I had my purses printed. Like I think I have one behind me, which is the evil eye little handbag wristlet. And I told her that it was from Kin Custom, and I told her I'll get back to her in a few days. But I said when I get a question, since I don't have a lot of time with a job and children, that's how I create my content based around the questions people are asking me. So I decided it was a good, since she asked and I already saw that no one else was talking about it, I thought that would be a great thing to do, is to create a little mini guide on how to use Kin Custom.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And that's a very smart way to be doing things. We're pulling up here our last slide for the day with you, because we do want to give the FNTV 20% discount code, which is Fashionology. Fashionology is the discount code for 20% off at patternbabe.com. And that goes for all sorts of things. I know that Kin Custom is a free guide, correct, downloadable, but you have all sorts of other things that we've been talking about that are available. So Fashionology is the code for all of our viewers watching today. That's awesome. We do have a couple questions, and now is the time that we normally take those. So here. Oh, okay. These are great. Okay. Question number 1. It's for you, of course. Stephanie, do you take custom print orders?
Yes, since I'm new, I haven't really done a whole lot of that, but I am interested as a next step to take custom print designs and do exclusive work as well.
That's great. Absolutely. So this next question might be a little harder to answer. How long does it take for you to create a custom print and ship the fabric? Thank you, Mackenzie. That's a great question.
Yeah, that is a great question. It doesn't take me, I don't think it will take me long to create a custom print. As long as I get myself focused, it shouldn't take me that long on the design end. But I do order my fabric from Spoonflower, so it does take a couple of weeks since it is print on demand. But if you have a fabric printing company that you work with, I'm sure that I could find a way to get the print to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think being able to provide the custom prints in a fabric, no less, I think is just brilliant. I'm trying to pull up another cool item here to show everybody, but having a little trouble. In any case, it's really incredible that you are going through the process of creating in the fashion industry and doing so through printing, you know, in the sustainability and ethicalness, and also, you know, circularity. It's just, it's a great thing that you're doing. And I think it takes a lot of strength to be able to do that. I mean, you're tackling basically 3 of the hardest pieces of the industry all together. So, I mean, it says a lot about who you are, which is incredible. So we really thank you for that. We're getting close to being done with today's show, but we want to have up here just for a few seconds, www.patternbabe.com. As the sign behind us shows, again, 20% off her website, and the code is Fashionology. And we hope you guys will go there. Please do make sure you take a look at everything that she has. It's been such a great pleasure having you on today's show. Thank you so much for being with us, Stephanie.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure for me too. I didn't expect to be on a show this soon, so I was shocked when I was invited, but I'm really happy you noticed my work.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we see great things in you. So for everyone here at Fashionology today, I'm Annie Ridgely. Thank you for joining us. And just once again, we're sad about the events happening in the Middle East, and we do stand with Israel. If you need any assistance of any kind, you can email us at support@thefashiontv.com. That one's shorter. Support@thefashiontv.com, and we'll help us any way we can. For now, thank you so much, everyone, and we hope to see you next week.
Well, there's pecan turtles, pecan bear claws, pecan fudge, there's pecan toffee, there's pecan coffee, roasted pecans, pecan pesto, pecan streusel, pecan waffles, pecan